All right, I have cut this back a little bit with scissors. You can see that I have them hanging here. I'm going to take them in the house. This is my official comfrey. And the official comfrey, if I remember correctly, spreads with roots and with seeds. I haven't had it spread at all here. The Russian Comfrey spreads just with root root pieces. Like even a tiny, tiny little piece of root from most comfrey will turn into a new plant. They're very prolific. One of the nice things about comfrey is that it will come back when you cut it. As many times as you cut it, it'll come back. As long as it has a good, happy place to live, it has enough water, a little bit of, you know, rabbit manure or something. And I'll try to find a Russian comfrey to show you the difference. You can really see that the official comfrey has more like arrow-shaped leaves, whereas a Russian comfrey is a massive, massive leaf that's like a foot across, and it's much fuzzier. This one is not as fuzzy on the leaves, not as fuzzy on the leaves as a Russian. I just used scissors to cut it. I did wear gloves and a long sleeve shirt, and I don't know how much more I'm going to cut. I'm going to dry it and then just put it in a jar and use it for remedies through the winter. All right, this is our wood stove. It serves as everything: a drying rack, a drying rack, a drying rack. So I'm going to put the comfrey up there, which means I needed to get all my pots and pans down from where I usually store them. And I'm going to put the comfrey up there. I'm going to take the laundry down so that any bugs that are still on the comfrey are not getting into our laundry. So I'm going to move that really quick, and then I'll show you what it looks like once I have it all arranged. All right, that's what it looks like. You don't want them stacked really on top of each other without any airflow. You want them to have plenty of space. I may have to rearrange things once it's been up there for a bit, because as they start to wilt, they'll kind of pack down on top of each other, and then there's not enough airflow. This is just a wire shelving unit, so I'll try and show you another one. You know, these shelves, it's just a bigger version of these shelves. And we hung it with chains over the top of the wood stove. I need to wipe that, sorry. So that's what it looks like. And then we've still got our wormwood here. They're kind of starting to shrink down a little bit. So I could move them here and go cut some more. You see how I'm not stacking them right on top of each other. I'm kind of alternating them so that everything has airspace. For comfrey, once it gets to a certain height, you really want to cut it back. It will come back and it will put on flowers again, but if you let it get too stemmy, if you let it get too stocky, it starts to lay down. And then it's kind of like alfalfa that way. It needs to be cut. Because you see how it's starting to lay down here? It's trying to mature. You don't really want it to mature. You want it to come back up. So you got to cut it. And that cutting works as a mulch around the base of the plant. This is my little Airbnb hub. I haven't had anybody in it for a couple of years. That's kind of sad. One of the other things you can do with herbs is put them into a compost tea. I'm going to take this comfrey down, I'm going to take these nettles down, and I'm going to put them in my rabbit manure tea bucket. I have about a gallon of rabbit manure in here, plus a gallon of milk, some good bacteria that's meant for this kind of thing. And I'm going to let them sit. You can see I've also got some dandelions. I've got some sow thistle. And I'm going to let them sit in here and brew to make me a tea that I can add to plants that are struggling or that are new transplants. Okay, so I've got hoary cress, nettles, comfrey, sow thistle, alfalfa, dandelion, and then the dirt that's around all of their roots. So that should make it pretty happy. I'm going to go take some of this and put it at the base of some fruit trees that are struggling, a cherry and a peach.